Spoilers for every single movie up till 2025. Spoilers on Watchmen, the entire Mission Impossible franchise, Office Space, Billy Corrupt movie, this guy, the actor. Okay. This came in my feed. I don't know how this showed up on the right hand side. It might have been because of the Mission Impossible movies. This guy, this actor, he's a cool actor. He was in the spoilers, one of the Mission Impossible movies. I think it was number 4 or 5. I forgot which one. It was a good one. Though the end is in Watchmen in the commentary, extras DVD disc. He might even be online. I think it's online also. So I remember what was Zach said. He said he knew about the movement. So he got one of them. Got him and somebody else. There was a second one. I forget who the second guy was. Apologies. So my point is, this guy met Tom Cruise, and now you've got the Tom Cruise movie. This is on Wednesday. Came on Memorial Day weekend, so it's the 2 days after Memorial Day, Monday. And he acted with, what's her name? That actress who was Naomi Watts. Interesting. There's a Naomi at an ATT station about a mile from here. I was talking to her about her name, and she was funny. She said she knew, and then she was coyly looking at her phone. It was so funny, and showing it. I think one of her co-workers was showing her the phone or something, or she was showing it to the co-worker. So it was funny. It was a hilarious moment. But she was in. She was with Gary in the Office Space movie, and the spoilers for the Rings. Yeah, there's a scene comes out. So it's small. Hollywood's really tiny. And there's like only 360 actors around, maybe. There's that 36 goddess constant number. Look at that. And there it is. The moon lie. That's right. It's about the moon lie. It's right in front of me this whole time. Incredible. And this is about the moon lie. Spoilers of my new franchise about the moon lie. Huh. Let's play it through.
To me, that does its smartest termite.
He said the world's smartest man is, yeah.
What's that? Another ultimate weapon.
Yeah, now it's going to show Nixon. Nixon was in on it. Also,
Yes.
the moon lie.
You could say that.
I mean, spoilers, to get the whole world to, forget about Vietnam and all that stuff. I don't know if it was Vietnam in the comic, but in the Aliens. Of course, the movie is something else, but it's all about the moon lie. That's what it is, the moon lie in reality.
Millions of lives.
And the killers was, limo driver. He had some kind of, what do you call it, pressurized weapon in his sleeve. Then there was another shooter. It was like a trainer of the CIA people, and then someone else, maybe a co-partner or someone, and then possibly another fourth shooter, someone else they didn't know, something. So, 4 shooters. Yeah, one of them being the limo driver. Slow down if you watch the JFK movie. I was in the editing bay, possibly the editing bay, or one of them, in the same building. I worked right across from it. Pretty incredible. Alright, yeah, and I've been around some of the areas of even in the city hall. That was so cool to be in there. You could tell there was some really important people in there too. My gosh, it was a small room. I don't even know what we were talking about, but it's like, it doesn't get any more epic than that, does it? That may be the most epic thing I've ever done. Not even about car or anything, not even about the car. It's ironic. It's a government thing. I was in City Hall. I keep thinking RoboCop. Jeff was RoboCop. Oh my god. Wait a minute, that's the tie. They filmed the RoboCop scene in Jeff's server building. In his office building. server room, and then I was in City Hall working for the same company Jeff did, but by that time Jeff was gone. I was in City Hall where they filmed RoboCop. Oh my god. I mean, I've been in the, since then I've been in the building where they shot the 209, 209 was also City Hall, but in the Renaissance Hall building, I went up there. I was down on the floor. I don't know if I must have gone up there in the elevator or something. Definitely, I was in the basement park there. They had a scene there, the shot scene. Spoilers for RoboCop. But that was like years afterwards. But yeah, how come I didn't even connect that? Yeah, we also had the RoboCop, one of the directors in the classroom too. He forgot. How could he forget Nancy? Now I've forgotten what's her name. I know her name. It's Nancy Allen. Nancy Allen. But I mean, you'd say one of the directors. I mean, yeah, he was one of the directors. I don't know which one. Must have maybe number 2 or 3. I don't know. He didn't say which one. He must have been, I don't know, maybe second unit or something. I don't know. How can you forget? I mean, I don't forget that, but when you think the director, you think Van Hoven. So I mean, yeah, one of the directors actually comes in a classroom and directs. It must have been that. I mean, why else would he be talking about RoboCop? So we actually had one of the incredible. I'm still processing it. One of the directors of the RoboCop, of course, because we're in, where I'm at. Of course he would still be here. They directed it here. Gosh darn it. Why didn't it hit me? So the guy literally still lives here too. Wait a minute. That means where I went to film school at. They must have been involved. Bart might have been involved. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wait a minute. I mean, Mr. Lou Diamond Phillips, he's from that school, but in fact, the article, the New College edition, has his picture in there. I know, I'm seeing his name always in the art room. You see it there, so famous. I think his picture was even in the room in there. But my gosh, so RoboCop has actually been within me this whole time. That's why I kept feeling its influence. But the director, one of the directors, it's still, and I even talked to him. I mean, he literally was teaching us, and I was the only one who answered the Nancy Allen question. He didn't know. He was trying to remember the name, and I said Nancy Allen. And then at one point, he didn't want us writing notes, and I said, I see you writing or something, or I hear you writing something. I said, I'd write everything down. But yeah, it didn't really kick in until Jeff. I mean, until making a connection with City Hall, because I was doing a bid. It was a bid contract thingy. I mean, City Hall. Come on, it's City Hall, and that building's epic. But that even shines beyond. I guess it shines beyond the director because it encapsulates, intersects with my life, with my IT work, intersects with my college work. My regular, I think the very first building we went to might have been downtown. There's a picture of me that Dad took, standing on top of the giant, the icon symbol, whatever it is, that looks like a giant coin. But so my IT work, my college work, college, my life, and simply the epicness of that transcended even the director. That's interesting. I mean, one of the other directors, he was the main director. I mean, I'm gonna say, think about it. He didn't even remember Nancy Allen's name. So what kind of actor? What kind of? I mean, she's literally the second most important character in the entire franchise. So, not that I'm not trying to talk smack to him, but I'm saying, how come I remember City Hall more? But yeah, that's right. So, oh my gosh, that means when he's talking to me, though, he doesn't realize that I know Jeff. That's right, because I'm trying to think. I knew Jeff before meeting that director. So that means when he was talking to me, that director didn't realize that I was one of the people that's actually connected with the movie in that way. In other words, I had known my co-worker had worked at a previous company where they had served the cert. So he might have even seen Jeff. He might have been in the same building with Jeff when they were filming. He must have been. It was the first movie. That's interesting. And so the director didn't know he was talking to somebody who had talked with that guy. And that's an interesting coincidental cycling. See how the 6 degrees of separation works? That's really interesting. And I didn't realize until now that kind of connection. It's right in front of you, but you don't know the interpretation. It's like when same people like movie reviews. Everyone's watching the same movie. Everyone has those people watching, and that is everyone. So that everyone, But the interpretation is different. Can be different. So I'm trying to think. So we got 3 things here. We got Jeff. We got City Hall. And we got that director. And of course, we'll be visiting all the other locations. But trying to think. Also, what's the most epic thing? What is the most epic thing of this? Besides walking across the bay and actually seeing the RoboCop costume I saw it. One day I was resting outside, and then I saw it. They opened the door, and it's like quarter of a mile way down. And that's how far the building was. Like 100, 200, maybe about 400 feet away, 500 feet away. That should be like the length of a neighborhood. So it's like, that's what is that? That's like 5,000 divided by 5. So maybe about 500 feet. Yeah, I could be about 500 feet away. What am I trying to say? Why am I talking about the, I'm trying to think. I'm talking about City Hall being so awesome. Oh, I'm talking about the most awesome thing I've ever done. That's a good question. What is the most awesome thing I've ever done? It seems that I'm trying to say that the most awesome thing I've ever done was to do a bid contract meeting in City Hall. That's interesting. And that ties with my movie stuff because I love movies. I mean, that literally is my degree, so it's not creating my car, having a car created in movie form, being shown in National Review with Biden portraying me, or Popular Science, the car in there, or the director having it in the UK, and then the one in Florida and California. Of all those, it'd be me in City Hall. That makes absolutely no sense, does it? I think because I'm talking about direct connection, me actually being in what I'm talking about, instead of an indirect thing, a totally direct, directly involved, completely 100%, no doubt. Yeah, I guess that's the most awesome thing. That seems kind of selfish, doesn't it? You would think that the most awesome thing you ever done was, oh, wait a minute, I remember saving a life. That's right, when I was on down in the downtown. So it was still downtown, yeah, still downtown kind of thing. It was still downtown. It was downtown. That it might have been literally the location where they filmed a scene. I think it's the scene where they the lady. Oh my gosh, that must have been the scene. Yeah, that must have been it. Where RoboCop saves that woman by shooting between her legs. That's it. That's where I rescued that guy. There was a guy who was in trouble, and he came to the car and said he needed help, or he needed to get in. I got him in, and I think, after I drove a little bit, we were still in the same parking lot though, and he said, he didn't say I think, he said, you saved me or something. And I said something like, you're practically in the Batmobile. But yeah, he said you saved his life. It's pretty cool. I hope he's okay. But that must have been where they filmed that one scene. So that would be the most awesome thing I've ever done. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of other, that kind of stuff, but not so direct as that. I mean, there was another time when the car was flying through, and I already told the story in another video. yeah, it was. I was what do you call it? I was going through there's apartment building with something happened in. I was doing a redcon, not redcon. I was doing a recon. I guess you got reconnaissance. That seems like a government word. No, let's not use that. I was doing a sweep through to see what happens. Sweep through and yeah, it ended up. It's quite interesting on the highway. There was a highway kind of thing involved, and that was an exciting chase. Transportation must have been having field day on their screens. No, but still, the saving of the life is, I think, God, that has to be the most important thing. I can't say the city hall was even more important. Can you even hear me? Can the recording hear me? I think you can. Yeah. I mean, it should be the saving of the life would be the most important. Well, it would be I think it's the most important thing I've ever done. I can't say the city hall, which is more awesome though. It's more exciting. I mean, I guess City Hall is actually more exciting because the saving was basically him getting in my car and me driving a little bit. So the saving was kind of easy, I guess you'd say. I don't know. City Hall. First, the most important thing was saving that guy's life, of course, but the most exciting thing. It was exciting. For me, it's not about excitement when I was saving him. It was about, someone was in trouble and I had to do a job. So you can't call it. It's not necessarily exciting. It was my goal was to protect him. So that was my concern about excitement. So I would have to say the most exciting thing I've ever done was actually, City Hall. Being that bid was so important. It was so important. For the next stepping stone. My boss was testing to see if I could actually launch into basically project manager. Not that my job didn't still project manager tasks, but I was a manager, but I wasn't like a project manager in that sense of, we had other project managers that were directing the technicians, but this would have been putting me in sales. That's right, sales, not project manager. I would have been a sales manager. They were promoting for a sales manager. How come I didn't even realize years afterwards? It was until years afterwards I realized. I knew they wanted me to do pump up the bids. I mean, I've been doing bids for forever almost, basically. Not basically, basically. But he wanted me to take it to the next level with these bids. But I realize now, in retrospect, now after so many years, it was sales. He wanted me to be the sales because we never had a sales guy. Tracy was our last sales guy, and that was years afterwards. We literally forewent the sales individual, the sales person. That's so funny. My tenure there was we literally we ended up foregoing so many positions because I basically took over so many of their positions. We forego, I think it was the secretaries. We had no secretaries. Then we ended up having no salespeople. And then we had no medical insurance. We didn't need insurance. We needed insurance. We never had insurance. We didn't need it. I was the one. I was the one that was responsible for the medical insurance. And I didn't even have to say it. They could tell this. I mean, they didn't say it, but you could tell that I didn't care about it because you didn't have to. It's so easy. It's basically to take care of your health. So easy. I mean, number one in biology. I am. mobiles, yeah, I am. But yeah, so ended up to the point where I'm sorry. What other positions did we end up not having? Let's see. I almost want to say we didn't have any project managers because we kind of didn't. Chris was actually a technician. They were all technicians. Yeah. They're all techs. They all started techs. They had to be. But I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it got to the point where we actually had no project managers because all our project managers end up being in the field. Even Chris, even the big guy. Because what happens is, it ended up there's 4 of us in the office, and I'm trying to remember. It got to the point where, we kept losing technicians, so the project managers had to go be the technicians. Yeah, so it ended up being I was the only one in the office. Yeah, completely. It didn't happen in the second office. The first office, of course, was super full. We had the originals, we had the ones today. And then the second office, got a little bit less, but I mean, there's still a substantial amount of people, But by the third office, no secretary, no salespeople, and then eventually no project managers. It was only me. It was me completely. I mean, in the other office, there was at least me and then someone else at least. There was at least 2 people in the office always. Yeah, there was always at least 2 people. Someone to take care, to take care of the technicians, and then someone to do the, some of the secretarial and accounting work. But in the third office, there was literally no one in the office. Most time, not even my boss. One of the jobs was supposed to be going to the bank and doing stuff, but we did it. So it was only me in the office taking care of everything, and everybody out doing their work. That was good. I mean, that's the most efficient you can do it. That's literally the most efficient. If you can do so many tasks, even the second office, I think it was the second office. One of them was like, the paraphrasing. They were like, the impression you get was like, wow, he's doing all this work and he's getting paid this much. Only this much. Because I was doing, to me it was ordinary. I could do, logistically you can't actually multitask. You have to do one after the other, but they're talking about in conventional sense, So, ended up, it's the same thing when I was working at the grocery place. You can tell, it's like, this guy can do basically all of it, so being no one around me, because Tabitha was supposed to be, Tabitha was going to be the cashier manager on her first day. She's there, she's all presentable, and she sees me standing in the middle, the middle cashier, about in the middle, and I'm looking at her, she's looking at me. Isn't the look on her face it's kind of like, why the hell am I here? I'm not needed here. So she ended up doing something else. So because I'm the fastest cashier. So it ended up to the point where they actually got me to be I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Because I kept taking everyone's time because they wanted to go do whatever they wanted, so they gave me their time because I would take it to help them out. And eventually, I think it was at night, so I'm like the only one at night or something. I'm trying to remember it. It got to the point where it's basically, so it's the same thing over and over again, because I can do so much. It's considered efficient. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so why am I recording this? I'm trying to remember. I was talking about, the best thing I ever did. And it has to be a point in, okay, I think it's about RoboCop. Okay, I was talking about Thodian and RoboCop and this scene, how ties to Tom Cruise. Okay, so Okay, I'm trying to think. So yeah, this all comes from the RoboCop thing because of how does it tie the RoboCop? Very Corrupt has nothing to do with RoboCop. Tom Cruise nothing. Oh, okay. I guess I'm talking about because of this thing with the tie to the movie stuff. Okay, RoboCop is movie. Correct. All right. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm talking about movies. Yeah. So Ka or the my legacy is the car. It's still the car, but I guess the most coolest thing I ever did was yeah, man, the cars went through so much. I mean, look at the most recent thing through Whistling Diesel was involved, of course, spiritually. But what's the thing? Flying Wheels, definitely involved. Love that guy. He had his car. He met my car, and then he did his car. Within a 2-minute span, from my car to his. And you have Whistling Diesel, spiritually smacking out the Cybertruck with his red truck. And then Fox News did Flying Wheels interview about his Disney experience. That was pretty cool. I was like, I know this voice. I know that sounds like it wasn't. So that was pretty interesting. That was neat. So there's a saga. There's a 3-movie epic saga of the car. The recent saga of the car. What do you call it? It's 3 movies. 3 parts, like the Star Wars the trilogy. So the Miss Mobile trilogy, Real World trilogy would be you would go from Flying Wheels to Whistling Diesel, and then the Fox News Flying Wheels news the interview. That's the trilogy for the Miss Mobile, the Real World Miss Mobile. That's pretty cool. But does that would that be the most awesome thing I've ever done? Let's think. Or is it still that meeting in City Hall? That's not even my movie. I mean, I'm involved in RoboCop. They actually mentioned me in the spoilers in the video game, the most recent video game. They mentioned my name in there. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Yeah, so I'm all over RoboCop. I am RoboFlop. I did this RoboFlop thing. My mom loved it. It's so funny, RoboFlop. But anyway, yeah, that is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, even the Office Space guys in there. When I was in Austin, I saw the movie RoboCop 3, and he ended up being, Milton. But so that's funny. You would think that the most awesome thing I've ever done would be my movie, but that's indirect. It's still indirect. Even Hero's not even me. It's based on like an ideal version of me, but it has to be direct. Anything that is direct would be the most meaningful thing. So it would have to be. It's not even the movie that I created that would influence. That would eventually become what was the movie version, Red Mist and the Mother Lover, called the Mother, it was Mother something. That's still indirect. It's still indirect, even though there is a direction. The direct would be from the emails I sent out. That would be the direct communication. You can even say there's actual karma effect, 6 degrees separation through David Copperfield. Because when I met him, his wife, I didn't meet the wife, but Claudia is in the movie. She married the director, Vaughn. He has the car. He has one of the movie cars. So, yeah, so there's the direct tie. So I literally am 6 degrees effect from David Copperfield in the movie directly. So there's the direct effect. But, I mean, we're all 6 degrees separation from each other. So, in the direct effect, as in creation-wise, I would still say it's not even about a movie. Not even my Asian American series, no. No, as famous as that became, the whole church and everyone knew about it, even though people at school kept showing it when it was supposed to be for the film festival only. And Lisa finding out. She saw it, and I was like, "You saw it?" Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes. What do you think of it? That it was racist. It's not racist. I said it's not racist. That at the beginning you said the name, and I said the name. I think I said the name. I said one of the names was, it shows he's multicultural or something. I don't know. But regardless, and then it looked like I wanted to say something more to her, because usually I keep talking to her. She's very attractive, but at that point I was lost for words. Because now she's like literally chasing me, and I'm kind of like, I wasn't used to that, because we kind of had a falling out, kind of teacher to student. There was something she didn't know. She wouldn't reiterate, and I didn't believe her, about one of the cameras, about a camera and something. But anyway, I'm still trying. Usually I'm the one talking to her, and so at that point I was a loss of words. I couldn't believe it. I kind of, I opened my mouth like I want to say something, but I simply left. She could tell that I didn't want her to know. No one was supposed to, basically no one in the conventional sense was supposed to watch. It was supposed to be for the film festival. But, yeah. So, it was on the website. The website's fine, because everybody, the public's supposed to watch that and stuff. But it was like stills. And there was a different storyline too. There was a continuation. No, there was a different variation of my character. I had, I could fly and do all those silly things. It was a testing on the CGI. They had Bill Clinton in and stuff, and Hit Girl. Years afterwards, we'd meet with Hillary. But not even that franchise, that series that I did is as awesome as being in City Hall. That's the thing, isn't it? In retrospect, of it, and City Hall was pretty cool, because of the potential there. There's something so important, and the irony of that is that and it may be because I see how important Texas is, but and how it's involved in everything. Now I have all these information and research that I understand, but maybe that's part of it. But it's ironic because it's government, and my feelings about government. So that is interesting. Maybe that's how I can accept. Maybe I'm doing this. One of the reasons I'm doing this subconsciously, this video, is because I want to actually let go of these false words. And a lot of them are government. Most of them are government. So maybe that's it. If I can accept some parts of government, I can forego these false words, these false word things, not let them bother me, and then I can actually continue on with the editing and get to my parents before they die. So I'm kind of doing kind of brain think here to prep myself. Yeah. So that's one of the good things it segues into. Yeah. So that's perfect. So I guess, yeah. So officially, as of now, I guess the most, did I say most important? I can't say it's the most important, because the most important thing was saving that guy's life. That was the most important thing I ever did. But I guess the most exciting thing, yeah. So the most exciting thing, I guess, would actually be being in City Hall. That's interesting. Not even Brad Pitt being in front of the car at the premiere, which I wasn't at. I wasn't at the premiere, but that's interesting. Yeah, again, because it's real world direct. So the most exciting everything was the City Hall thing, but the most important thing I ever did was saving that guy's life. Yeah, there you go. Now it's in media. It's on print here. Cool. Okay, so anyway, one of the main takeaways here is I'm not going to be letting those false words bother me as much. We'll get the audio done, smack it out, and then get this thing done, and we'll be okay. Alright, let me verify the power is still on, and we're at 10:26. Okay, so there we go.